Funk Flex, Jim Jones. Jim, what up, bruh?
What's up, brother? How you feeling?
I ain't seen you in a minute. You know, every time I talk to Jim, sometimes we say, "You gonna come tomorrow," and then something else happen, or something else moves along, or something else hits the internet, then we don't do it. Mm-hmm. And then we move further. First of all, congratulations on signing to Rocnation. And and I want to congratulate you just before that too. Like, congratulations on your grind, because you know, I know Rocnation doesn't define you. You've been doing this for a little minute, and doing business for a minute, and selling records for a minute. So, congratulations.
Appreciate that.
So, Jim hit me yesterday before he hit the internet, and he was like, "Something big's gonna happen, bro. I need you to pay attention." I said, "Okay, all right." So, Jim, you know, I don't want to skip over anything and miss anything. So, okay. I know, of course, we know as it stands right now, yes, there's Dipset, and yes, it consists of you and Cam and Jewels and Freaky Zeke. But, you know, I want to go a little bit back to the beginning, because, look, I ain't going to pull no punch today. You know, of course, you know, Cam was on Angie, you know, questioning whether you from Bronx or Harlem. We're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about everything, you know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you something. I usually, New York, whether I got Jim or I got Cam, I got Jewels, you know, I tippy-toe sometimes. But, you know, I'm not going to say the snap that we're not going to tippy-toe, but we're going to ask a couple questions tonight. So, Dipset, how did that even start? When did you meet Cam?
I want to say 89, when we was about 13, right before we both went to high school. Yeah, right there around that time. He had moved to 1199. I was living in 1199. That's on the east side of Harlem. So my aunt lived there, and you know, if anybody knows my story, as a child, I was moved around from home to home, and my mom's she had me at a young age, so you know, I had a loving family. I lived from aunt house to aunt house and ended up with my grandmother back in Harlem. But it started at 1189, and then Cam moved over there to move with his grandmother. His grandmother lived over there, and one of his cousins, God bless, R.P. Bloodshed, one of the founders of this whole music thing. Way before there wasn't even a diplomat, it was Cam and Bloodshed that was rhyming, along with R.P. Big L, Herb McGruff, and a bunch of others and things like that. So soon after I met them, they started doing the Children of the Corn thing. Shout out to Six Figure Digger, and at that time,
who was in Children of the Corn?
Six Figure Digger, Bloodshed, and Cameron. That was the group.
Okay.
And Six Figure Digger was the producer and the DJ at that time. That's when you had to have a DJ at that time. DJ was part of your package. You know what I mean?
This is what year?
About 90, 91.
Okay. So this is 90, 91.
Yeah, 91, 92, something like that. When
so is it now? You meet Cam, but there's no music talk, right? It's just I meet Cam.
Yeah, I met Cam at that time. When I met Cam, Cam was one of the nicest dudes playing basketball in Harlem for that age, at 13 and 14. And then he moved to 1189. And in 1189, my cousin Dave was one of the nicest people on the east side. Like, everybody knew he was dumb nice, and they was around the same age. So that it started on the basketball court with my cousin and him going back and forth. Like, I would always get my cousin, and you know how that would go. And then you know, regular running around the east side, basketball and smoking weed, to listening to him and Bloodshed rhyme all the time, and they always was talented. Then they went to Manhattan Center, and that's where Mace was at. Then they started this thing called BBO. It was bending beat bitches over. That was the name of the crew when we was younger. That was like a West Side crew. It was Cam, Herb McGruff, Dre Degger. It was a bunch of kids from uptown and stuff like that Cam used to hang out with, and along with Mace and stuff like that. And I was down from the east side, so naturally I migrated to the west side. The west side was always the most exciting part of Harlem and shit like that, and that's where Cam and them was from. And you know, it grew from there, and went from them doing raps and formulating a little crew to actually getting serious. And then
So you actually, you knew Cam before Cam knew Mace?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say that, because Cam and Mace played basketball their whole life.
Played basketball
and Mace
together.
lived up the block from Cam. Mace lived on 40th between 7th and 8th. Cam lived on 40th between Lenox and 7th. So they knew each other from uptown.
So Cam and Mace were never in a group together?
I mean, did Mace live on 4th? No, Mace lived on 16th Street. Yeah, they was Mason Cam in a group together. I can't recall Mason Cam being in a group together. I know they
knew
always
each
rap-
other, and they was
always
rhyming
rap.
then.
They was like best friends. Pardon me, Mace lived downtown. I was thinking about
And
somebody
so
else
at
that
this
lived on-
point, you're not rhyming yet.
Zig had lived on 40th uptown, but I mean, Mace lived on 116th Street, matter of fact, on about 8th Avenue. At this point, I wasn't rhyming. This is high school days, so at this point, Cam and
What
Mace.
high school you go to?
I went to Cardinal Hayes, and me and Zeke went to high school together. I knew Zeke since the age of 8.
Cardinal Hayes?
I went to Cardinal Hayes, and then for all 3 years, me and Zeke got kicked out
Wait,
the same day when I seen year.
In the Bronx?
On the Bronx, yeah. I went to Cardinal Hayes from the year.
You play sports up there?
That was my whole thing. The year I was gonna play sports, my grandma's, they West Indian, so they don't believe in like sports. They believe in you going academically right, getting your grades. So that gap that I didn't have to play sports, I ended up being in the streets. But I was dead nice at basketball because Cam and them was nice, so I had to keep up. I was with the nicest dudes playing ball, but I always was a little bit to the street side of things. I didn't play.
Grandmother is West Indian. Which was she from?
My grandma's from Aruba.
Okay. All right. Which I never knew, and I've known you this long.
Yeah.
Okay.
My grandma's from Aruba, so they didn't really care about no athletic, nothing.
So back to Cardinal Hayes. Wait a minute.
Hayes.
So okay. So you lived at some point you were in the Bronx then.
I was born in the Bronx.
Okay, born in the Bronx.
1801 Weeks Avenue. That's in the Bronx. That's right off the Grand Concourse.
Hectic.
I'm telling you. Shout out to my Uncle Ricky. He just came home. I watched my Uncle Ricky and my mom sell crack from I can remember the age of 5, which is like 81.
That concourse, bro.
To the whole time. Like
You could see anything happen.
I remember
up
when
there.
crack was sold in vanilla envelopes and things like that. Like the Concourse, my block was the bridge. That was like what uptown is. If you know anything about Washington Heights in the late 90s and early 2000s, that's what Weeks Ave was back in the day. That was the bridge. That's where everybody went to buy their weight and stuff. There was some real big characters that came up out of there. So I was raised in the midst of a crack den. Not my house per se, but just the area and everything that was around me, from my uncles to my aunts to my moms to, and my grandmother was just a spiritual person. Always went to church, so she had me morally sustained, like going to church, Sunday school, and all that. So in the midst of all that, I always had great morals and how to make great decisions in the midst of the jungle that I was living in. That's why I'm still here today.
So then now you said 89. You Cam, you meet, and you hang. So when is it? How does the crew progress? How does it get tighter? The relationship between you and Cam. How does it grow?
It grew after Cam and them was good at basketball. Everybody went to college for playing basketball. When they left as seniors, everybody was dead nice at doing music. They all was nice at rapping and shit like that. Mace was nice, Cam was nice, Bloodshed was nice. God bless Bloodshed was still alive. This is about the year 94. And everybody got kicked out of school that year, like 3 months after they'd been in school. Mace got kicked out of school, Cam got kicked out of school.
College?
Out of college, yeah, at that point. And when they got kicked out of college, well, this is 95 actually, the year that my grandmother had passed, God bless. So when they got kicked out of college, they all moved back home. Cam didn't want his grandmother to know he got kicked out of school, so naturally he moved into my apartment. And my apartment,
I respect that move. It's a good move. Not let grandma know.
Of course. So my apartment,
Tough.
My apartment became like home base for the diplomats. Like that's where the
This is Harlem.
This is Harlem. This is in Taft Projects on 112 on Fifth Avenue, in the middle of a blood hood, and 93 gangsters. You heard, but this is Harlem. So when they got kicked out of school, Mace, my house was like the home base. Bloodshed was still here. He lived in 1199, but everybody always was at the crib. Cam lived there. It was like Mace lived there. So I believe in '96, Mace got the opportunity to go rap for Puffy down at, I think Jack the Rapper was in Atlanta. And I remember it like it's yesterday. I remember Mace in my house shopping in my crib. Like, I need a dope ass outfit to go down there. Gave him the outfit. Like, this is when niggas was coming up. I was just always fortunate to be able to have little side hustles and always knew how to get a couple dollars. And getting fresh was always my thing. So Mace does what he does. He goes down to Jack the Rap. He ended up getting the deal with Puff. They said he's standing on the table. Did some immaculate shit or whatever. Cool. He came back to Harlem, hype, pumping. Him and Cam is best friends at this time. That's when him and Cam used to go back and forth on the records and the crew and all that type of shit.
With Mace getting signed before Cam and them being best friends, did that affect their relationship at all?
Not at the beginning. In the beginning, it was still all love. When he came back, he told us the news and the project and all that, and he started to get his deal. And when he signed with Puffy and Bad Boy, and then he started to become friends with Biggie and all that type of shit. And then the whole revolution started. And at that time, Cam started to make a name for himself. That's when he was rapping with Clue or with Jada Kiss and all of them, and doing pretty good with the freestyles when Clue used to come out with all the tapes and stuff like that. And then it was like then we started up. This is like 95, 96s and stuff like that. We doing like independent shows in the middle of Harlem. The Lox is performing, Cam is performing. He's starting to get his name up. Then Mace gets the deal. Lox had got the deal with Bad Boy at around that same time. So then the Bad Boy family is sizzling. Mace, and when he comes back, long story short, he ends up introducing the Cam to Biggie. Called Biggie, had Cam and Biggie house with him, and Cam started rapping for Biggie, and Cam came back hype like Big said he gonna sign me. It's on now, and this is all '95 because this was a big year. And then Bloodshed had died that year. Cam's cousin. Now above everybody that was around as Bloodshed was Cam's best friend, cousin, like Ace in the Hole. Like that was his Ace Boon Coon. So when Bloodshed had died, it kind of put a real wreck on his life. Like he really took it hard at that time because he had just got the deal, and then Bloodshed had died. No, he didn't get the deal. Bloodshed had died. Then Biggie had died, and then he just felt like he was lost because.
Remember there was a hold up with Entertainment.
Not even with Entertainment. We didn't meet on at that time.
Okay.
We did. Blood had died in the car crash. Then Biggie had ended up dying in L.A. And then he was supposed to do the deal with Biggie and them. So now it was like we was back to ground zero because we didn't know what was going on with that, and the whole industry was mourning and all that. And I remember Cam Moms had the liquor store that he had took control of and stuff like that, and we used to be at the liquor store working or whatever. And I remember one day they was shooting I Love Big Papa video after Biggie had passed and Bloodshed had passed, and we shut the liquor store down, and we go there in town at Mount Morris Park. Over there they was shooting a video on 123rd, and me and Cam was just walking around the corner because it's Harlem. We like, hey, niggas Lox, you know how we young now, we pulling up. We go there, and as we walking up, I see I'm like, yo, that's the dude in the Source magazine, like that's Unpartment, that's the dude on DS. And I'm like, yo, we gotta, I mean, I know it's a bad time, but yo, if
that's right, Undias was first.
Yeah, so I'm like, yo, if Big said he gonna sign you, that's his partner, we gonna see. And sure enough, we went up to him. I'm like, yo, this is Cam. I don't know Adam. Big, you know, before that, Big he was like, yeah, man, Big told us about you. He said, on Monday we want you to come to the office so we can sign you to this label. It was that simple. Then on Monday, Cam got his lawyer, did a crazy ass deal. When Un had got that $64 million from Sony, and Cam had signed for a shitload of money. I remember going to buy the big 600 Benz. We had went out to Queens and to the joint.
Cam's Benz game, bro.
You know what I mean? And, that was 96. That was Mace got signed in 96 and Cam got signed in 97.
So now you and Cam during this Entertainment time, right? Like, what is you and Cam's relationship?
The best of friends.
Because I want to always get the position of what was going on.
The best of friends. After Bloodshed had passed away, me and Cam became uncontrollably close. Like, you know, we were just brothers. You couldn't take us apart. He lived with me. We did everything together. You name it, we did it together, man.
And where's Freaky Zeke in this equation?
I knew Zeke since I was the age of 8. And I always been militant minded. So when Cam got his deal, I said we got to form an army around us because we can't be running around letting niggas roll over us at all. And you know what I mean? This is little bit before I really started banging blood and all that type of crazy shit. Like I always was affiliated because my projects was
This is Braids Jimmy.
This is Braids Jimmy. So Zeke came in the picture when Cam got the deal. I'm like, we're gonna start putting niggas around us that I know is gonna be.
So Zeke was your relationship.
That was my. I said I introduced him to Zeke. I said Zeke is one of the illest niggas I know. Cause at that time we fresh out. I've been to high school with Zeke. We fresh out of high school. Remember we 18, 19 in 96 and 97. You dig? So I'm dealing with the people that I went to school with, and I know Zeke was a warrior, a savage. It wasn't nothing that me and Zeke ain't doing school that we ain't come out with together. Like, and we broke bad, we got beat up, we beat people up. Like this with me. So I'm like, we need Zeke. He had a big dude uptown named Fat Sean that used to be like, we're gonna put Sean next to us. My man Black and Dawn from the Bronx. Like it was just pieces I was putting around us to keep that protection. But at the whole time before I got all the pieces together, I was everything. I was the hype man. I was the road manager. I was the manager. I was the security. I was the dude boy. I was everything. Jim. You name everything you can name. I was it for Cam. I would not let Cam put himself in no harm's way on my watch or on my clock. And as everybody could see, I don't think there's a time that you've seen in this industry that you can see Cam has reacted aggressively towards no one as far as putting their hands on somebody. I don't think you can find a clip of that. But you can find numerous clips of me activating for the diplomats, and that's a fact.
I remember you used to come to the tunnel, and Jim used to say, he used to keep me abreast in different things. First of all, Jim was always 50 deep, so we'd always have Mark Murray would come up and say, Jim is 50 deep outside. I'd say, tell him 30. But the 50 would always get in. 30, I don't know why I used to pick that number. I used to say 30.
Facts. Mark would come back like, yo, you just give me 10 at a time. I'm like, all right, that's cool. We'll do 10 at a time.
And he would always say, you know, Cam just signed. Or Cam, and you know, it was always Cam, your talk. You know,
100%.
it was always Cam. It was always, Cam just signed, Cam's working on this, Cam's gonna do this, Killer's coming tonight. That's how he used to say it to me. Killer's coming tonight.
See, my mom's always told me that I was a soldier with the ability to be a leader. You heard? Mm-hmm. And she meant that. So when you put in a position in life and you're able to kind of change your life, you gotta play the rules. Cam was the person that got signed. He was the face card, and I understood that, and I made everybody around me understand that. Like, he's the prized possession. He cannot be touched at all. If he get touched, we go down, and that was the method. Even with Jewels, they all know I put my life on the line for this. I've been to trial for this. I've been on America's Most Wanted for this. I've been on gang files for this. I've been on everything you can name. So when people play with me, I get real emotional because I operate off emotions, as they know for all the times they've been with me. It's never been a time that I backed down from any situation in this world, except God. And I've been up against 20, 30 deep by myself where niggas left me by myself. You heard? And I escaped those situations and come back and still give niggas high five. Let's do it. What we doing today?
And you know, Jim, we never talked about that, about that situation.
Any situations, there's been numerous situations.
Did that situation
There's been times when my cousins go to jail for 5 years for this that didn't really have to be in jail for this. Fed time. But we take it on the chin like a soldier. Like, people don't understand what this diplomat shit was built about. I'll be watching the gram and I'll be watching these clowns and all these. But boy, if you really get to live this last 20 years that I lived, you would understand, boy. I put everything on the line for this. And I took it with a smile. Even when niggas doubted me, niggas down me, when I was on trial and niggas told me I need to take the plea. Take what plea? We don't take pleas, nigga. You heard? By the grace of God, the trial gets dismissed because they couldn't find enough evidence of a shootout that happened on uptown over Cameron. You heard? I went to trial over shit like that. I went to court over shit like that. Every time you see me in the news, it was over diplomats. When I get sued and shit like that, it be over diplomats. When I'm kicking ass, when I come to the club 30 deep, it did what? It made the diplomats look good. You heard? When I'm banging blood, it was good for them, right? It was good when it was good for them. You heard? When it wasn't good for them, oh, nobody wanted to be a part of the Bloods. But when the Bloods became popping and it became the notoriety of the Bloods started becoming, oh, everybody wanted to turn blood. No, I didn't put that on camera because I was glamorizing. I put that on camera because this is what we was going through, and this is what we was affiliated with. And we had a chance to do something great in life, which we did. We broke a lot of barriers. Kids from the middle of the gutter. I don't care if it was from the Bronx or Harlem. We started from nothing. We had no OGs. You heard? We had nobody to tell us what we was doing was right or what we was doing was wrong. We didn't have a blueprint. We had us. We had that love, we had that energy, we had the talent, we had the style, we had the charisma, we had Harlem. And I refuse to let anybody play us for anything short. You heard? Like, the shit we bring to this game, it would never be bring to this game in that fashion again. You heard? So when people get on this radio and try to discredit me in any fashion, I don't do that. I pick niggas up in the midst of whatever because I know what we went through. What we went through was a real thing. Joel's still my favorite rapper today. I told him that ever since I met him at age 16. And even today when he pushed, he just put a record out called Dipped in Coke. You know what I put? I put work, bro. I ain't got time for the frivolous shit. My personal problems has never been about the business. And everybody knows that. You heard? I've done a lot of things off of somebody's ego. A lot of the things that were done right over the diplomats, I feel were done off of good direction. And a lot of times it was smart and innovative things came from us, came from me. But a lot of the mistakes that we made were done off of ego, and I was with that. Mm-hmm. I was totally with it. I'm with the shits. If that's what we doing, that's what we doing. I'm bombing on everybody. Who don't like Cam? Who don't like Jewels? I don't give a fuck if you don't like me. I ain't here for that. And that's what I did. I kept that position. So when I be listening to interviews and niggas trying to play like, boy, don't play with me, boy.
Diplomats, right? When did you, Cam, because I know Jewels is not in the folders yet.
Jewels got in the folder early though.
He got in early, but when Diplomat starts to get screamed, how did that even come about? That it turned into an album, like because of course I knew Cam, and I knew Jimmy, because I don't even think it was Jim Jones then. I think I knew it was Jimmy. And when did you say you're gonna formulate? Because the Diplomats came a little bit after Entertainment. I guess he was out of the Epic deal, out of the Sony deal. And I felt like there wasn't a deal, and I started to hear the Diplomats talk on the mixtapes.
The Diplomats came about a long time ago when Cam first started doing music and stuff like that. This is when Six Figure Digger was still in the picture. And slowly but surely, even he was erased out of the picture for whatever went on at that moment in our life, which I feel he was cheated out of a lot of great things because he was there from the moment we started. But that's a whole nother story. But Six Figure Digger is the one that actually came up with the logo for the Diplomats. It was the eagle and put the Diplomat through it, and we had put the silk screening machine. He was making our own T-shirts, and this was early. This was probably like '98 we started.
It's considered Cam and the Diplomats.
Yes.
Right? Like it's not even. There's no Jewels rhyming. There's no Jim. There's no other rappers. Not Zeke's not rhyming.
It was just Cam and the Diplomats.
Which I think the first album was entitled Cameron and the Diplomats. I believe. I don't think it was just Diplomats.
No, the first album was
Cameron Presents.
Yeah, Cameron Presents.
Okay, so now, when does it evolve to Jim Jones and Jewels also having verses and being equal members? When does that start?
I was on every one of Cam's albums, and I sit down to help him create all his albums. You know what I mean? In the studios, long nights and all that from the beginning. Jewels came in on the SDE album, and that was like the last album that Cam did at Sony, and I remember Jewels had a couple of verses on there, and and probably was like 2000, maybe 99, something like that. That was right when we was getting off of Sony. At that time, we was in a real bad place, and me and Cam was trying to figure out how we evolve, and we was like, man, we need to sit down with Dame and get Dame to kind of do your management. And that kind of being like, he like, yeah, we need to do that. And also at that time he was trying to get off of Sony, and we didn't know no other way to get off of Sony by being aggressive. So we went up into Sony. We went to Sony about 40 deep.
Who's the Sony person signing at the time?
Dave McPherson or something like that.
Dave McPherson, what's up, my brother? You made a lot of money.
Yeah, we went in Sony with like 40 deep, a bunch of bloods. Me and Mad Disrespectful. Cam had the camera, cornered them, put them on camera. Tell him you're gonna sign me off this label and all that type of shit. And it was kind of witty. It worked. They had the highest security for like a whole year over there. They thought, you know what I mean? But
so he lets him go.
He lets him go, and then Dame Dash starts to manage Cam, and just around the whole time, they paid the full thing and all that started coming out, and then it was about to come about, and then he did the Diplomat deal was about to come about. But first Cam did the deal with Rockefeller. He did his first album on Rockefeller. What was that? Come Home With Me?
Okay.
Right? That was the first album he did on Rockefeller. After he did Come Home With Me, that album went platinum. So, at that time, they was giving artists labels and all that type of shit. So once he did the platinum Come Home, when we started doing the Diplomat thing in the building, he had lobbied to get the Diplomat deal and all that. And at that time, Jewels was already bubbling and shit, because we had him on all the records for a few years and shit like that.
Now, I don't want to rush through this Rockefeller Diplomats marriage, Cam marriage, because this me outside looking in, this looked like the biggest you guys were getting, in terms of, you're growing as individuals, you're growing as individual artists, people start to know you individually. You're on Rockefeller Def Jam, Dame Dash is involved, Jay-Z's on the label, Memphis Bleak, Siegel, State Property. And here is where there definitely seems to be happiness and friction. Like this is where I saw it start to change, and I remember the big I don't know if it was the big weekend, maybe Cam was made president or was made vice president. Something happened, and it was definitely a change.
It
at
definitely
some
was
point.
A jolt. I mean, personally, I felt like that put a jolt in the whole business up there. I mean, we was nowhere in the whole business spectrum. You know what I mean? So when by us starting to be hot and doing all the dope things, and then Diplomat getting on fire and Cam being on fire, and Dame being a boss up there, he kind of, I guess he took that and ran with it, and then for the hype of what the media is saying and all that type of shit, he kind of put something on Cam that he should have probably talk to the rest of his counterparts about. I mean, but I don't know how that whole situation went. But I know from that day on, there's definitely been a jolt in that whole Rockefeller system, not from no diplomat side, from just how the shit was moved up there.
That the change was
my
that
possession.
was that when things changed in the diplomats' relationship with Rockefeller and Def Jam? Was that the changing point when Cam was named?
I think it was a.
What was the position Cam was given? When he was named vice president, was that when things started to change?
It definitely changed the mood up there. Because
was not changing before that. That's what changed it.
I believe that was what really changed the mood up there. Because before that, everything was dope. Like it was a real dope organization, the way that things was running up there. I mean, we were young. Like I said, we didn't have no know-how. We just knew how to make records and learning as we went. So when we went in that building, we just was in there aggressive, and it just started working. And it seemed like everything we did was a hit. We couldn't touch nothing that didn't go platinum or gold and shit like that. And inside of the Rockefeller building, the only one up there that was putting up numbers on the board besides Jay was Kanye.
Now Jay, I remember. This was a rumor. Remember the New York record that Cam had? What was it called?
When him and Jay went back and forth?
Yeah.
Welcome to New York.
Welcome to New York. Now, something I had heard at the time, and it was just, no internet at the time, that it was difficult to get Jay to put his verse on that song. Was that even true or nonsense?
It wasn't that. It wasn't difficult to get Jay on that song at all.
Okay.
It wasn't that. It was we were signed there, and we was any other artist, nigga, we signed to Jay. What's up with Jay? Cam asking, like, it was damn, like, what's up with Jay? I need that verse. I need that verse. I need that verse. So that's what it was. It wasn't him hard doing that record. Just I need that verse. And the way that record happened was actually the dopest shit I've seen in my life inside the baseline. You know what I mean? But as a young
how did it happen inside the baseline?
I'm about to tell you. But as a young artist coming into a label and us being fans, like, don't get it twisted. Me and Cam used to sit in our house on the big TV with the VCR and tape all the records we love. Twister was one of them. Every Jay-Z album or mixtape, anything we had on the VCR tape, any video we had, we watched our music from the video channels and shit like that. Me and Cam did. Like, we were total fans. We knew everybody record. Nas record, we was big fans. And Nas was like the flyest nigga to us in hip hop coming up in the day. Like, me and Cam were complete fans. But when you get in the game, I tell people like this all the time, it was something like when Iverson had to hit Jordan up. Like, we all competition now. As much as we're fans, we're competition.
We want to live. I wish
we would have been on the same team, but at this point, I got to get my crossover on. You know what I mean? Like, so that's how that was. So now when we get there and shit like that, it's like, oh man, vicariously, we like, man.
And Cam cocky.
Like,
Cam walk. I know how you walk. Cam walk through the place like, 100%. that look, that Harlem shit.
I know what the mission is. This is my boy. The mission is we gonna set fire up here. We in. We gotta show these niggas we the illest niggas possible. They got state prop. We gotta rise to the top up here. Whenever we go in the studio, we making bombs. Jewels have your verses. I watched Cam make Jewels do verses all day in the house. Don't come to the studio and got like 9 verses, boy. We ain't writing nothing in there. We coming in and just bombing. You know what I mean? So at that whole time, so now, when Jay gonna get on the record, so that was the whole talks in the building. So when people probably say that, that's probably what they mean.
Okay, it was just trying to get it to happen.
The night the record came in, we come in the studio and baseline. Your man Jay came in like, yo, you ready? That's just how he told.
Was Cam there when Jay laid his verse?
Jay came in baseline, looked at Cam like, you ready? Cam came back here like, I think we about to do this shit. I'm like, what? He's like, wow, he just came in and asked me if I'm ready. You heard? Clear out the studio. Just Blaze, put the beat up.
Was it just them two in there?
In the studio, yeah. Them niggas wasn't allowed in that shit. And it was just them going, it was the illest shit I seen, nigga. Cam goes in the booth in like 5 minutes flat. Cam come out, Jay go in the booth like 5 minutes flat. Cam go right back in the booth after that. Jay go right back in the booth after that. Cam go right back in the booth after that. Jay go right back in. Nigga was like, I thought they were swinging at each other. Like, there wasn't nobody gave no time to breathe. Niggas didn't have I need to get my ball. Niggas wrote a whole song back to back. Shit was done in like 15 minutes. I'm lying, I'm flying. Ask anybody who was in there that night that witnessed that history would be like, nah, that shit was the illest battle ever. The illest battle ever, nigga.
Who we gonna have the best on this song. Nobody's getting spanked. We ain't allowing it.
Yo, if they had Instagram and Camp, nigga, and people would have people would die to see that, man. It was like a revolving door, and the record came out so crazy. They put Jewels on the hook. I remember Cam like, yo, you telling Jewels, yo, write the fucking hook. You heard? Like, yo, get this fucking hook. You better get on this fucking record. This record gonna be big. Cam was a beast at music when it came to work ethic, and he knew what he needed to hear. He knew how he wanted to hear it. He knew what niggas needed to do. Like, we would be on tour, and I never take nothing away from niggas. We would be on tour, all of us, and Cam would be like, everybody write a 16 before the night is out. And we gonna battle each other at the end of the night. Now, he don't battle because he got the deal, but he making me, Jewels, J.R. Writer, everybody battle. Every day you gotta write a new 16. This is how deliberate he was when it came to the shit. When Jewels wrote gangster music, and the gangster music. Hey, we was in Chicago when Cam had bought a house in Chicago. Cam was getting all type of money, all type of money. I will not lie. That nigga was
I used to see Cam.
That nigga was busting up.
New York City. I forgot this, Jim. In between when he was signed, I'm gonna tell the story, Cam. In between Cam was signed, in between Rockefeller and Sony, I used to see Cam on the car show tour hustling. When I used to come through Carolinas, the weirdest states I'd come through, Cam wouldn't come to the car show. I'd be in the parking lot. He'd come to me, yo, Flex, what up?
Because we was all
no hat, no nothing. I said, what you doing out here?
Embedded in the street, niggas. So, you know, there was a gap between Sony and the Rockefeller deal.
And he was getting that bread.
And in that gap, we all had to get to that bread. You dig? Like, I just chose to stay in the city with it, but he was reporting to the same block I was on to do whatever he was doing. And, you know, we was out in Carolina just having fun and shit like that, man. Shouts to my man Tiny Bum, man.
You were talking about Chicago. I don't want to take you away from you said Cam bought a house in Chicago.
Cam bought a house in Chicago in Wrigleyville. I remember Big Ass Mansion because he loved Chicago so much. Chicago was one of our favorite Dipset towns. And I remember we going out to the club and he told Joel, yo, let me hear that verse you got to this record. Joel did a verse. We came look at each other like, I'm like, nigga, I didn't get you a deal for that bullshit verse. He said, man, you ain't going out tonight with us. You go in that basement you got down there, that basement with all of you, go down there and write some shit. We going out. We went out, came back, called the nigga. Come up, like, yo, tell me, let me hear that shit you got going on.
Was Cam enjoying? He was enjoying having somebody to kind of.
That was like
to boss around, right? So the Cam enjoyed having, you know, to walk him through them steps.
Definitely a little brother. We walked him directly through the steps as far as the records, and Joel's came back up and did the record that we all heard and love, and then that's how that went. So he was an ill doctor when it came to all that music stuff and things like that. You know what I mean? It just, everybody takes a turn. I mean, my fame, I don't know if my fame made people uncomfortable as the more famous I got and the more notoriety.
You know, Jim, because that Harlem swag, bright entrance shit like that, you know, you always commanded that, you know, anytime I saw you. I mean, before the records got big, you know, and I know you was into that. And do you think that, I mean, you was always flashy, you know, as you got along in your career. Do you think that was making an effect? Do you think people felt you were being too flashy?
No, I don't think the flash had anything to do with anything. I mean, the flash is what people wanted. That's what actually kind of gave me who I was, made me who I was today, was the lifestyle I was selling. I mean, everybody fell into the lifestyle way before they fell into the music. The lifestyle made people love the music. They see where I was at. Every hot spot that was popping, I was there. Or every hood or every trap that was popping, I was there. I stayed fly. I drove the biggest cars.
Closed down a couple clubs, Jim.
I closed down a couple clubs in the city.
The China Club, you closed that down. We was out of there for 6 months.
I mean, the mayor put out an ordinance on Joseph Jones that he's banned from all clubs in New York City to further notice.
It goes out a couple.
Yeah, I mean, I've been around. I station. I've been around since.
What's the issue with the station?
I forgot, man. I've been around since Rap Police was gang unit. You heard, like, you know,
okay.
That was in the tunnel when the gang used to come in the tunnel and harass me. Them same officers turned into the Rap Police. I mean, I've been around this game. I caused a couple of problems, but you know,
I remember
we live and we learn, man.
I remember New York City when Jim was gonna start to, because you know what, I wasn't always privy or understood when you were on the album cuts, and Cam was saying, yo, man, working on Jim stuff, and Jim, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, Cam, you sure? Then I said to Jim, I said, you want to rhyme? Because I'm used to everybody and what they doing. And I don't remember the first song But
first
Bobby
song-
Trends.
Oh, the
Bo-
first
Bo-
that
Bob-
was Certified Gangsters. That was the first song he grabbed and went crazy with.
And Bobby Trends used to say to me, I remember he said to me once, because I ain't gonna New York, I was heavy G Unit. I was heavy G Unit. And Bobby Trends said to me, he gave me a street. He said, you have to go up to so-and-so and so-and-so and see what this is. And I called Cam and I asked I said, Cam, where you at? I think you had brought Trends to the studio the night before. I don't remember what street I went up to.
I'm 40th in Lenox.
It was in Lenox.
It's Cam Block.
And then I saw people with Diplomat tattoos on their body. Now, this is a street, New York. There's at least 200 to 300 people in the street not talking to each other, spread out in different pockets on the block. So I go up there and I see Cam. I don't know if you were there that day, Jim. It might have.
I was there.
And then I remember I said, I think I understand what this is. And I don't know what record I grabbed the next day. And I went on that radio and maybe that was what was happening at the time. And I launched it. But then it was the club that Certified Gangster, bro.
That's when Club Envy was popping. That's what Trends broke it at in Club Envy.
Trends was leaning on that record. He said, Flex, I'm telling you, this record is something. Jim is something. You need to see what this is. And Bobby Trends made me understand Jim. So when everything else started coming, I wasted no time. Jewels. I remember when you guys told me you were gonna go to Koch. I said, are you sure?
Yeah, because I had asked Dame for $1 million. Dame blatantly told me, no, he's not giving me $1 million. But this was after Jewels and Cam both went platinum and the Diplomat album went platinum. So I'm like, man, common sense would tell you that I'm worth $1 million. Give me $1 million and I'm gonna blow it up. That's what is that? Go gold or whatever. Everybody over here gonna go. He like, nah, he wasn't really feeling my energy when it came to doing music. So me and Cam was like, man, we could do it.
Jim, I was a doubter too in the beginning.
No, it's
I
cool.
never,
it's cool. I went
what
to
you did though was you made those records. Like I remember there was a point you were like 5 deep with smashes. It was like.
No, I mean, I was as much times as I got shut down. I'd have been in Irv Gotti office rapping. I'd have been all type of executive office rapping way before I got a deal or anything. And everybody shut me down. Like, man, we know you for Cam, but the music ain't really what we know you for. So when we went to Koch, we had the idea of like, man, let's do it like them 7 artists do it.
That Baby Girl.
We did, like we got Diplomats already rolling. Everybody know who Diplomats is. So if we put an album and say this is under the Diplomat label, there's no reason why they're not going to get it the same way they would get it off of Def Jam. And we using Def Jam to spike you anyway because you're already a Diplomat. And we took it to Koch and it worked. That was that.
You ever wanted to give up?
Certified Gangster.
When you were launching your solo project, because everybody thinks you got it easily because you were on the team, but it actually made it harder for you to blast off.
Well, it made it harder for me in the sense of I couldn't get a major deal, but I always was a hustler. I knew the whole spectrum. I put the play on the table for everybody when it came to Diplomats. I didn't follow the play. I made the play. I put the whole play together. That's how we was able to get all that independent money and go to Koch and all that. It wasn't no thinking about it or somebody told me what to do. We were smart enough to do that. You know what I mean? Like, and I made a shitload of money. You said Baby Girl, Certified Gangsters. Oh, it just paid into play. And then that was the first deal at Koch. I think that shit was like for $75,000. I remember Cam did the Diplomat deal. He gave me like $75,000. Them 2 checks, kind of. I got those 2 checks and I never looked back. I chose not to never sold a drug in my life after those 2 checks.
Did you ever have to take money out of your personal to propel your career?
All the time. I'm an independent artist. Every dollar I spent was all personal money. You got to figure when I do a deal over at Koch and they cut me a check for $1 million or $1,005,000, that check is for the whole entirety of the album, producers, beats, photo shoots, videos, everything. Like, they don't come out of pocket for nothing else. That's why I was getting the big check. So yeah, that's coming directly out of my pocket. But the reward on the comeback is a big
What
check.
label was Ballin' on? I don't even remember.
Ballin' was on Koch. Koch made probably about $20-some million off of me off of Ballin'.
You caught that Sony check though, bro.
Yeah, I caught that Sony check.
You went in there nice.
Nah, I bum rushed the building. I ain't gonna lie, the recession fucked me up. I lost a few million inside that Maryland shit. Word.
Okay.
But I bum rushed the building, man. Sony gave me a good check, and I was able to get off that check like a tax write-off. I remember going in there, whatever the circumstances may be. It was like, we can't really have you on the label, and you get to sign this paper and take everything with you, and you ain't even got to worry about paying us back. I was like,
no problem.
I'm cool on that. I'm out. And since then has been, I would say, he's been the beginning of my hiatus at that time.
So now balling's cracking, right? You know, the Dipset's rolling. There was there was a couple hiccups here. Mm-hmm. Of course, we established when the Dipset and Def Jam and Rockefeller and Jay started to have, you know, a bumpy issue. But now that happens, and now Jay makes a response on Ballin'.
I loved it.
But what prompted it? Like when I say that, it's like, because I felt that was the first time it wasn't rumor anymore that there was an issue. You know what I mean? Like, what brought it to all of that? Was it his problem he was having with Cam at the time?
It definitely had to stem from that, because my problem, I didn't have a problem.
And what was Jay and Cam's issue? What was Jay and Cam's issue that made them not be able to coexist on Rockefeller Records at the time?
Dame.
Now, was Dame creating an imaginary friction between the two?
No. This is when the demise of the Rockefeller started happening, when everybody started picking sides, and people were saying there's no more Rockefeller, and Cam chose to side with Dame. But right before the real demise people started taking sides and shit like that. Yeah, it started being a lot of ruckus in the office, started being a lot of physical shit going on in the office. So it was a lot going on before the actual media had seen what was going on. But it all stemmed from Cam siding with Dame and I'm siding with Cam. And at that time, it was a Harlem thing. Like, yo, he's Harlem. I didn't know no better. I didn't know.
And I guess Dame brought you in. Dame brought you guys in, 100%. So you went with the guy who brought you in.
100%. You know what I mean?
Okay, so now, is that when he responded on that Ballin' record, is that when you 100% realized that you guys have an issue with Jay? Did you know that before that song?
I knew that before that song, but that's when I 100% realized that he considered me as a real rapper.
Okay, all right.
Literally. When he did that, I laughed and I smiled and I was happy. In no way, shape, or form. And niggas will tell you when he did that, I said, book the studio, we going right now, we remixing it. He just gave me the biggest verse of my life. He don't even know. And I went to the studio and I remixed it, and that's when I was like, remix with Jay on it. Like, as soon as he did, I was like, I got him. I'm like, it's either he really, that's a term of endearment and he really fucks with my music, or he just slipped up bad to do a diss record to Jim Jones or do whatever he did.
Jim lived for those moments. Jim lived for that energy.
I was like, it's on from here. I'm popping. I'm lit. When Jay mentioned you lit, because he ain't mentioned nobody that ain't lit, and you can see that through the time, like, you know what I mean, through hip-hop history.
Once the Giants started playing that song for the touchdown, bro.
Shout out to Strahan. I just give that credit to Strahan, man. I remember niggas calling me like, Strahan keep throwing up the ball or something after he sack everybody. I'm like, what?
That was clean.
It was, man, balling was a great time in life, man.
So now that happens, right? Now, because I'm clearing up everything that I can remember of things that I heard. Now, I remember people thinking it was weird that there was a Ballin' remix, and I felt like Cam wasn't on it, correct?
Right.
And that was a talk amongst people in the industry, because Cam was in the video.
Yeah,
and was there an issue? Was you and Cam having a little something?
At that time, our competitive nature was all the way to the forefront. It was who gonna be more popping, and I was a bit more popping at that time, and I don't think niggas took kindly to that as opposed to embrace.
So you felt like Cam didn't want to be on the remix at the time?
No, I didn't say he didn't want to be on it. I'm just saying at that time it wasn't like.
I might have called you and asked. I think I called and asked.
I wasn't opting to call him to do a remix and all that. You know what I mean? It was just like, yo, let's do the ball and come get in the video. This is Dipset. We gonna blow it up. We still on the same page. This is when I had signed the kid Max B, actually, and that's the whole nother thing. Like, you know, I signed Max B to out of me knowing how he talked. That he had a different type of lingo just in Harlem, the way he talked. I used to be like, boy, if you could rap the way you could talk, you gonna win. Then he went to jail.
I remember you brought him up. One day.
He went to jail and he came back rapping. And you know, he from Cam Block, and everybody knew he rapped. Cam knew he rap all that.
Do you remember when you brought him to the car show?
Yeah.
When he first got out of jail.
I told him to put them glasses on and all
Yo, we at the car show, nigga Max B. What was it? No, it was Pin the Tail. Max B turns around, puts the glasses on and adjusts his hat. and then comes back to the stage. I'm like, yo, this guy is really...
Everything they seen from Max B is what I told him. When I met him, I told him, don't ever take your glasses off. I don't care where you at. If you in court, keep them black glasses on. That's why everybody never seen it without his glasses on. Like, I had a premeditated murder of what I wanted to see or what I wanted to hear. He was an absolutely talented kid, but that's here nor there. So after I get ready, when I signed him, it was just funny because the things that I would do, well, I wouldn't be credited for doing, because once I did that, it just felt like Cam wanted him to be his artist when he should have just took the chance on seeing how hot he was. Then remember, Cam made him do the diss song on Jay-Z. Then, you know, it just rolls different. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
so was Ballin' the beginning of some differences with you and Cam? Was that the beginning? We're at the remix now. Is that the beginning where you feel?
I think my first $1 million check when I changed my lawyers was the real beginning.
This is prior to that. After?
It's the prior before the Ballin' check. Before, me and Cam always had the same lawyer, and I kind of found out some shit that, you know, the game is to be sold, not told, and you got to learn as you go. So I found out some shit that I wasn't comfortable with. And I don't even know if he knows to this day, but I'm not that type of person. I just like, all right, cool. Let me find out the best thing I need to do. And I started studying the game. At that time, 50 Cent was popping. I said, I want to get 50 Cent lawyer, which happened to be Theo Sotomayor. So after I did that deal with Koch and got that $1 million check, which Cam got a shitload of money off of too.
Me and Jim argued about this. I know Jim don't want to bring it up. Me and Jim argued about this a couple times on the phone. I felt the ways. I felt the ways about a couple things. I felt the ways about that and 50's lawyer, only because I guess, you know, I was just always used to y'all being an entity, doing it on your own, and I just saw a rise in Dipset and how.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
I used to explain to them how big it is and how big it's moving and what it means.
Yeah, but it was
outside looking in.
It was moving, but I wasn't included in the moving. I was named as CEO.
I remember you said that. Yes.
Listen to me. This, you know, people think they're smarter than people, and you know, you're just happy to be here. I was named as CEO. I was never on black and white and paper as the CEO of Diplomat Records. I never received a check at all for Diplomat Records, for no type of profit of any type of sort. I worked for every dollar I got. That's why I chose to direct videos. That's why I chose to engineer Cam's albums. That's why I chose to do everything I had to do around it so that I could eat. Like, the game wasn't really played fair. It looked good on camera. We could say what we was. Oh, Zeke's the president. Oh, I'm the CEO. Oh, Joel is the vice. Like, that shit didn't mean nothing.
Now, Jim, we gonna do both sides.
You know, I'm not mad. I'm just telling you what's going on. It ain't no both
that's
sides.
That's the look Jim gave me 10 years ago.
Going on.
Now, I want to first, because I never told you this. I agree with you, business-wise, right? I do, because maybe I didn't say that to you before years back. I agree with you. I think, you know, I'm gonna speak for Cam and just not Cam as Cam, but just as business, not business.
I'm not here to put nobody.
No. I'm gonna speak to you as this. I think however Cam moved with you, he learned that from someplace. And I think that the OGs before Cam and the way the business has always been run in years was always...
No, 100%. That's why I feel like this is why I told you I'm not mad, because I knew that terminology. The game is to be sold, not told. I watched Cam do it to people. I watched people do it to Cam, and I was abreast of that. So that's what I really do feel. When I figured out what
that's what he felt.
When I figured
it was the way to do it.
That's what I'm saying. But when I figured out what I needed to do for Jim Jones as Jim Jones,
correct,
I had to do that. Like nobody ever. What I've done for people, no one has done for me. When I got out at 4 o'clock in my bedroom, I couldn't call these niggas to get out at 4 o'clock to come save me. You think there was ever a time in my life I could call Cam to get out of his bed to come save me?
Now, when you explained to Cam that you want to do business a different way, was he receptive to that?
I didn't care at that time. I already knew what was going down. I knew what type of person Cam was, and that's why I'm not even here to talk bad about nobody. We grew up with each other, so everything that happened, I already expected. I planned for that.
Because you grew up with him and you knew his personality.
I knew his personality. You did? Like, shit, we was boys. We was tight. We grew up. I knew how he hustled.
But there was...
He gave you a platform. He gave me a platform, gave me an opportunity, but he didn't give it to me. I worked it. Cam didn't get the deal without me there. I was there every step of the way. From the year 1995 to the year 1999, you couldn't find Cam without me.
What could Cam have done?
What could Cam have done? Bitch in the room with him. I was there in the room.
What could Cam have done different? Right? Because what you're telling me is the biggest issue here is business, right? And how you start to grow as a businessman and the entity started to grow. and of course it comes down to you and
You see,
Joel's
if you-
not.
if you
What could
know-
he have done
if you notice,
differently?
I separated myself from that
But could he?
entity
Could
as
he?
Jim
If he
Jones.
would have came to you business wise and cut you in better, would we not be here like this
couldn't
today?
I couldn't tell you. That part don't really care because I'm not upset about none of it. That's what people don't know. Like, I don't really give a fuck about
I
this.
would
I'm
be.
not-
I would be
I'm not-
disturbed.
I'm not
I would be
bitter.
disturbed.
Why?
I would be disturbed.
How about you be disturbed? That's like crying over spilled milk. That shit is not gonna happen. So I'm not gonna talk about it. Life is life. It's played out in the book already. I love the way it went. Nigga, I'm from the gutter. I sold crack. I lived in a project. That's a hood within the hood. We was able enough and fortunate enough to use our talent to get out that motherfucker and stay in the best places in the world. Go around the world on private jets, sit on yachts, jump in the water in the ocean in Italy and shit like that. Niggas that can't fathom what I did. So me sitting here with you to talk about what could, I don't give a fuck about that. We Dipset. We made it to the greatest of all time. Yeah, me and my man had some feuds. Fuck it, that's what brothers do. We had millions of dollars in front of us. Niggas gonna fight when it come to millions of dollars. I want the millions, he want the millions. It's always been like that between us. If you know him and you're asking, we always had a competition from when we was younger. We started off calling each other bum ass niggas. If I seen him the next day with the same clothes off, I call him a bum ass nigga. He seen me the next day with the same clothes on, he called me a bum ass nigga. You bum ass nigga. Oh, I'm getting fresh today, nigga. Watch what I come out with later on. That's always been me and Cam's relationship. You heard? But we always been there for each other in the beginning. And there's always been a time that I know was gonna separate. Cam's first thing he told me when he got the deal and we was able to get money, nigga, I'm gonna show you how to get the water. You gotta get your own fish. I'm cool, nigga. I don't need a fishing rod or nothing. I'm grab them shits by my hand, nigga. You heard? Show me where the water at. I'm cool with that. You gonna take me to the water with you? Cool. I'm gonna turn into a fisherman, nigga. Thank you for taking me to the water. You heard? I was gonna follow you to the water anyway, nigga. I was right here anyway, nigga. You heard? Where you was gonna go?
Whether you
Whether
shook
you
me
liked
or
it or not, nigga, I was gonna be right there, nigga. I was gonna jump in the water by myself. But neither he did it. He set the path, and I loved it, nigga. He broke shit down. He made Diplomats. He made Cam. Everything he did went platinum, nigga. We was popping. I'm not mad at any of it.
Now you spoke of the lawyer. Do you think did Cam feel a certain way with you getting involved with 50's lawyer? You feel?
I don't think he felt the way. I don't think if 50 lawyer had anything to do with anything because I was.
Or was it just because it was another different lawyer?
Just for the best lawyer that could shoot Jim Jones, and that kind of cut his knowledge out of what I was doing with the Koch deals and shit like that.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like it just went
so
to
before
straight Jim
that, the
Jones
deals
mode.
were going through Koch through Cam.
Yeah, they were
Before
going
that,
through the same lawyer.
same
So
lawyer.
his lawyer was making him abreast of everything I had going on, and it wasn't his lawyer wasn't really doing his job the way he's supposed to in my favor, because him and Cam was already breaking millions of dollars for the past 6-7 years already. You know what I mean? So it was cool, but once again, I'm not mad. I ain't even come here to talk about all that. You talking when we
No,
talk
I'm
about the
at,
history,
no.
But we
get to the.
But while we talk about it, I don't want nobody to send nobody up here thinking I'm bitter.
You know what? No.
not
We gotta
bitter,
get to the.
nigga.
We gotta get to the
I
history,
drove
Jim.
foreign cars every year for the last 20 years. Boy, I'm not bitter. I got a house in Miami, got a house in Jersey. My mom's got a house. My baby mom's got a house. My Uncle Ricky just came home. I'm about to get him a job construction. Like, I'm feeling good. Like, I don't really care.
Wait, but people care, Jim. That's why we addressed it, because we got to bring it full circle to Rocnation. We bring it full circle.
Let's bring it full circle.
So now the lawyers change, some things change, right? And now,
you know, let me tell you one of the things that out of everything that hurt me to this day, I'm gonna be honest with you, because of my loyalty and how hard I went for everybody else. Cam never came to one of my shows and popped up and jumped on the stage as a surprise.
I remember you said that to me. You said that to me.
That should have made me cry to this day, my nigga.
You said that to me early in the game, my nigga. I remember.
All I ever wanted was to come at a show. I watched Jay come out of bleak shows. I'm like,
I remember you told me that.
12 shows, and that was one of the things that just, even today, it'd fuck with me like, come on, man. But nothing else bothered me. You heard? When I had to scrap or I had to do whatever it took, I was with it. I knew what we was up against, nigga. This is not a regular lifestyle, nigga. We ain't got no job. We ain't got no time to wake up. We wake up and do what we want. That's gonna come with a consequence. You gotta be built for this shit or you're not built for this shit. I'm all the way built for this shit. And in the times when I didn't have nothing, nigga. I remember as being my nigga that I know my last $1,500 to my pocket, nigga. I may have had $500,000 in jewelry in my house and college and farms and all that. But I remember this, nigga. This is what's to be 17? Probably like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Bet a nigga my ass bet him. Nah, you're not getting it. I took my $1,500 back, nigga. Niggas don't know what I've been through. I couldn't, and I never complained once. Mm-hmm. You heard? I got up off my ass and got to it. I got a family, nigga. I never let my son felt nothing that I went through. I never let my lady felt nothing I went through. My mom's never felt nothing I went through. Yeah, we're not buying Chanel bags for a couple months. But boy, when it's back popping, it's Chanel every day if you want. You heard? I'm a hustler, and that's how the game go. So it's ups and downs. So when I go from balling at the top of the map and kicking everybody ass and doing everything that people didn't want me to do, it was working at that time. But when it stops working, the same people you told to kiss your ass and they kissed it because you was popping, now they got a chance to be like, oh, nah, nigga, you told me to kiss your ass. I don't even want you to kiss my ass. Fuck you. Let's see how you outlast this one. You heard? But I persevered, nigga. I was born in the jungle.
Now, me outside looking in, it always seems like those things were a little like small. I seen you guys have a couple hiccups like most groups have, you know. But of recent, I have felt that it's gone the farthest.
Yeah,
Like
maybe.
like lately, like maybe the last month and a half.
Yeah, maybe.
Right, and you know, of course.
Listen, man, I never was friends of any of my friends' enemies for nothing. Even with the whole 50 Cent shit, like that whole shit with Cam and the Mr. doing that shit, I was already in cahoots with 50 Cent trying to figure out how we could do some type of diplomat G-Unit tour. That's why I was really trying to get together. Cam went crazy on the radio, like, what, Kacha? Like, nigga, that nigga was...
When Andrew used to be at Hot 97, I remember.
At that point, I felt like, that was like, he was talking about Alan Grunblatt. So what? He be robbing the shit out of us, nigga. He still owe me millions of dollars. Like, why do you care what he say? It's all a come up. Let him say what he gonna say. We getting a check. You just fucked up the whole lick. Because at that time, we was the two most powerful movements, but 50 Cent and them was on a whole nother level. These niggas is touring out the ass all around the world. They ain't get 150, 200, 300,000 a show. we want some of that, nigga. We had diplomats. We doing something wrong. We the hottest niggas out and we can't get on one tour.
And I felt like even after that, you guys got together and kind of moved on. Like it wasn't a party stopper.
It wasn't because it wasn't that serious. It was a sequence of coincidence that kind of happened.
Now
at the same
it feels
time.
like I've heard it said about Mendices, and that has come up time and time again, and on Cam's part, and how he feels like is that even an issue with you, Jim? Because I don't even know. Is that even an issue that him and Mendices have a relationship?
At that time, I wouldn't care about what Cam did anyway. You dig? So I already knew what he was into and how that goes. But where I'm from, I never was friends of any of my friends' enemies.
Gotcha.
No matter how the situation played out. You dig? And especially with a person that you've been breaking bad with, a person that put his life on the line.
You feel he was disloyal?
I mean, at that point, I already felt he was disloyal. We already been past that.
Before that, then you felt that before that.
Yeah, 100%.
Gotcha.
You gotta watch the way things roll. See, that whole situation it had nothing to do with no Cam situation. That was some level hip hop shit that spilled over to some street shit, and I ended up having to beat a nigga up. If you don't believe me, you can ask the whole Saint Nick Project. But that's neither here nor there. I had to get that out. My bad. I mean, it didn't work in my favor. Them it was a setup. But I made it out of the street shit. It spilled over into some real street shit. So when it spilled over into some real street shit, it was about to go further into some street shit. And I got real live street niggas on my phone for.
Hold up, I'm not trying to get you acting, Jim.
No.
I don't want to take you into a bad place.
I'm just saying, like this shit. I'm just telling you, it just spilled over into some real live shit. So with that being. Which is
simmered now though. It's at a medium now.
You going through it. I'm going through it. You dig?
Okay, yeah, that's all.
I
don't want to skip over that. It's all right now.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I don't really care about it. It's cool.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I mean? I'm still me. You heard? I don't think nobody want to do that. Be cool. But that's just what happened. Some real life streets just spilled over, and I felt like there was a very strong disregard for who I was in his life, no matter if we were getting along or pressing. And I was just it. And he felt like whatever happened on the gram, I don't care. Sometimes I lash out emotionally and shit like that.
I think the snitch word was concerning Cam. I'm just speaking for it. That's what I heard. The word snitch. That was concerning him. That was concerning. That seemed to be a thorn for him.
I emotionally lash out a lot of times, and you know when I lash out,
on social media,
wherever.
Okay.
Wherever I'm at, you know, sometimes I use social media sometimes, which I've learned to stop doing that. My emotions have got me in trouble a lot of times and shit like that. And sometimes I say things where the truth hurts and it kind of sticks people in a place where, you know, they kind of react a little badly. But at that time, that whole shit was a train wreck. I mean, I tried everything, tried to get back with the diplomat.
So you don't feel Cam's a snitch? Yeah, that you don't feel
Got nothing
that.
to do with that. I don't know what he is.
No, but
I know he's an Aquarius. You
I
heard?
gave him the alley-oop. And I gave it to him, right? And he wanted to say to me, nah, I'm not taking it.
You heard?
I'm not taking it.
Nah, I don't know what he is. I know he's an Aquarius. You heard? You know he's a water sign. You heard?
Okay. So, wait. So, in moving forward, and look, like I said before, I know we
And there's
tried
a
to
lot
make it
more.
sure that you
There's a
wasn't
lot
from
more to
Harlem.
these stories. There's just so
But-
much stuff to get into. But basically, this, we going through a little bit of it, man. And like I said,
Nothing
man,
now. Is it easy to say that it's nothing that can't be fixed one day? Correct? Because I've heard him say that recently. It's nothing, It ain't that
listen
deep.
to me. I'm not thinking about that right now. Honestly, I'm thinking about strictly Jim Jones right now. I'm at a Jim Jones point in my life. I ain't worried about mending no old relationships with nobody. Not
Okay.
to say it like that. I'm at a Jim Jones point in my life. The past 2 years, I tried to do a lot of other things that probably would have went through where we wanted to, but it didn't go that way. And I can't waste no more
You feel
time.
like you've put that effort and that time into that
Yeah, I've
already.
been putting that effort in, and it's not rewarding as we would like it to be, and nobody's willing to be militant and stay disciplined to make it happen until we get the kudos from it. You know what I mean? And that's just that.
So Jim, because of course today is one of the most surprising days amongst everybody, internet-wise. Like, how did this become full circle, and then Jim Jones signs with Jay-Z's management, which is Rocnation, meeting with OG Juan? I didn't even understand. I thought when you put this on the gram 2 weeks ago, you was joking, or I thought you just went up there cold, because you didn't really tell me what you was doing. I thought you went up there cold, just turned the video camera on,
Doing some
and niggas was
bullshit.
saying no, because niggas was saying, yo, Jim's getting thrown out. So I'm thinking Jim went up there riffing on some fuck that I'm going up there, and they escorting him out, and he's videotaping it and just letting people think what it is. Was like, how did that come about? That, like, I'm very confused on that. Like, how does it go from this record to, nothing's happening, to fuck everybody? Like, yo, you even had, my brother, you had a court case. Didn't you, at one time, was it Tata?
I was, brother, shout out to Vaughn. I sat down and spoke to him too.
But there was a court case. There was money exchange. There was lawyers.
Yeah, it was lawyers and stuff like
I
that.
felt like you rushed him at some point. Like, didn't that happen?
Nah, that's cool.
It's behind us now.
I got to sit down and talk to everybody. I spoke to Tata, spoke to Warren, spoke to Beehive, spoke to Vaughn, even the kid True Life. Like, I haven't got to speak to him yet, but we mutual.
You and True
people.
Life are good?
Yeah, we. Pretty
That's
good.
good, money.
I mean, and it ain't nothing, man. These are all things that were old wounds, man. Nobody died over it.
I
and
did
stuff
like,
that.
I'm gonna tell you something, the Rocnation thing. You know why I loved it? I love seeing two parts like that. Say, you know what? Let's do business. I love Fat Joe being with Rocnation.
Dope.
I like seeing it. I liked Fat Joe on the remix.
Dope.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Until I heard the Fat Joe Jay-Z remix, and when I was, I had a chance to get it first and play it, but when I heard both of their voices on the same song, I said to myself, do you realize we was deprived of that?
For so long.
Of these two guys early on, when they were, thank God they both rocking at the same time still, that it still mattered, and it had to, or else somebody would have took a loss if one guy was hotter than the other, right? If it wasn't equal. But I thought that was amazing. I know a lot of people, because some people are young and they've gotten older, they don't really understand what that record meant, the both of them being on that song.
It's pivotal. It's real big for hip hop. It's real big for business. Real big for black people. Period. You know what I mean?
And the picture. I remember the picture they took on the gram. And but Jim, how did that happen? Like, because you're from Harlem, so I know there's a point where you go, niggas, somebody trying to job me. Is this some bullshit here? Is this some bullshit happening at the end of all of this? Did you take it serious from the gate?
Well, from the gate, it started as a mutual conversation with my dude, that we have the same mutual people, that we always been like that in the midst of the feud and
You
everything.
mind if I ask who this is?
Huh?
You mind if I ask who this is? Because when there's a mutual person between two of you, I'm trying to know who the fuck it is.
It's my man Vi, my man Vic, man. He's a good dude, man. You seen him.
So he's in between you and Jay.
Not me and Jay, just
But
me and the whole
Rock,
business. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
You know what I mean? And not even like that. It's just that me and him has always been cool through the whole feud, and he's
and he's on that side
of the fence.
Got you.
So, but we always we started as family, so we were maintaining that relationship.
You even hit the couch. What's the?
That was Lenny.
Well, what threw me off is I think it's the same day Fat Joe hit the couch. I was like, yo, this niggas trying to, niggas trying to gaffle me, man. Like, what's happening here?
Yeah, but so I seen it. We was in the gym working out.
So you and Lenny S is good.
Yeah, so
always been. So when you hit that couch, it was already a done deal.
Pretty much.
Okay, so prior to that, your man Vic, he says to you, or you say to him, yo, we should do business?
Nah, we just in the gym working out, talking about the industry, because we both been in the industry since
before the deal's done.
Yeah, I knew him since 20 years, through the whole shit in this game. And then when we got to Rockefeller, he was there, so we always was cool. So we in the gym working out, we live in the same neighborhood working out, we talking about 300, we talking about Atlantic artists, we talk about Rocnation. I'm like, man, right now, I ain't gonna lie, your boys got that shit on fire over there. What the fuck? You know, we just
keep it on it.
We just keep it in the 100 and shit. Like he like word, you know, you trying to say something? Like say something like what? He like, oh, all right, watch this. He like, I'm gonna make a call. I'm like, all right, whatever that means. And he called me back that night, like, yo, man, OG Juan want to talk to you. You know Juan from Harlem. He's one of the biggest.
So you knew
OGs.
Juan a long time.
Yeah, I knew Juan for a long time.
Prior to before he was with Jay-Z.
I knew Juan watching him bringing his team to Rucker games and taking the Rucker championships and having all the dope cars back in the day. Like he's a real figure in Harlem. Like, you know what I mean? If he's one of them historic people in Harlem and shit like that. So, you know, and plus, you know, you had the whole been with Jay and all for the whole time. So, and we always had a good rapport. And he was like, yo, Juan said come to talk to him. I'm like, huh?
So
I'm like, what you mean come talk to him?
So that come talk to is when I saw you on the gram.
Facts.
Okay, so that's the day.
That was it.
Okay, so you guys sit down. I mean, I'm assuming he speaks to Jay-Z before this.
Yeah.
And then it's all good.
Yeah.
Just how can you do business?
I guess it was. I don't know I don't know what the fuck just happened. But you tell. I can't explain. Like I'm telling you how it happened.
But what made you feel? No. But what made you feel okay when this crosses your table to say, I'm okay with it? You know what I mean? Like, look, I'm sure you get a lot of things across your table and what to do business. Like, what made you feel? Because look, you know what happens there. Is niggas trying to take me and bury me? Am I gonna get what I feel I'm gonna get out of this deal? And even if everything was all good, you still question a deal.
100%.
A deal. So like even if y'all were good, what made you say I want to sign this Rocnation deal and be okay with it, and I feel comfortable sleeping at night that this is gonna work out for me? You had all of those things had to mill through your mind before you did it. You don't just sign nothing.
I mean, when he said, yo, come to speak to OG, I sat and thought about that shit for like 48 hours. Like, where are we going with this? What's the whole angle? Like, but I know OG's a grown man and he got that pay, he got that bag, you know what I mean? And he running a real business over there. And I start taking everything in consideration about how much of a platform they do have over there. How many people's lives I seen them change over there in this past couple of years. And I see niggas like Fat Joe over there. I see niggas like Lox over there. And I don't know what their situation is over there, but it's just like, you know, it's intriguing. Like, man.
Is yours career management? Does it spread into your television? Does it spread into your artists? I'm asking a lot of questions, nigga. I'm asking a lot of questions, nigga. I ain't just, you know, I know you doing a couple things. I want to know how you doing it.
Yeah, they coming on as full management for Jim Jones, the artist and the brand. So.
Okay.
It's a bag chasing and we bag hunting. I mean, it's way better than this actually signing a record deal where they pay you some money and then you go back and create an album. Hopefully you come back and you can make some money. I'm actually with a group of people that's standing with me and behind me to make me some money, make money with me and things like that. So that's a great situation when I got ideas for past years that I always try to get across and they didn't actually flourish the way I wanted to, but I didn't have the right people around me. So with this type of platform, it's like any idea I bring to the table, I know they're capable of pushing that shit to the moon or where it's supposed to be or maximizing whatever it is I'm trying to do. And they dope. And not to mention, you know, I sat back and think about everything, the whole history of us going back and forth, and I took everything into consideration of what happened and where we at with what happened. And, you know, I think
over 15 years that happened, right?
Yeah, but I think at this point, with all the money that they got over there, I don't think anything that they could do would be to spite anybody. They already made all the money. So when I spoke to Tata, he was like, dog, we got the paper already. Now we trying to give back to the culture. Nigga, you heard? trying to get back. It's a stick up, nigga. We robbed it, nigga. Let's get back now. Let's put people in power, especially people that deserve it, people that we think can really still bust a move out here. And you know, it was just like that. And every conversation I had with everybody in there was just warming. I mean, it wasn't no contemplation. I walked in there, I sat down, talked to Juan. We chopped it up, looked him in his eyes, and the energy was great. I didn't feel no type of way. I came back the next day, the energy was the same. I came back the next day, the energy was the same. I spoke to people, I played a record. They sent Jay the record. Jay was like, that's a good record. Tell him tweak this. Like, it just was a great feeling. I mean, I haven't gotten to speak to Jay myself yet, but from the texts and the back and forth that he doing with Juan is a great situation. And I mean, I've been in this game for a long time, and everybody knows that I've been an independent artist, probably one of the best at being an independent artist, and I've accomplished some great things. But keep in mind that I've done that as an independent artist, meaning that's basically me and what I had to work with. I never had a team of people behind me to push me to my full potential, I believe, like especially on that level. And I've watched Cam get that opportunity. I watched Joel's get that opportunity. I watched everybody around me get that type of opportunity to really show what you got or where you really could take it and things like that. And I think that it's time for me to get that opportunity. I'm not getting no younger. You heard? And I'm not getting no stupider. So you dig? Every move got to be smart, and this didn't feel like a stupid move.
Is there any place in your decision making where you said to yourself, because there's a couple things that come into play now, Harlem as a whole, there's Dame Dash, just Cam, just how you've moved over the years, and to now, and then your fans, people,
Well, as a whole, Harlem loves me. I'm outside in Harlem.
Well, when I say
I'm really
when I
with
say
the
Harlem,
people. I touch the people. I'm really out there.
When I say Harlem, because now in going into the Rocnation fold, right? It's kind of like it. Did you at any point think or wonder, should you do that because of your affiliation with the Dame, your past affiliation with Cam? Did you care how it looked to be back in the Jay-Z camp?
I don't care about none of that. That don't really care. I'm care about good minutes, man. I know that in my past I've been loyal to a flaw, and that's been one of my problems, my loyalty. You know what I mean? And that's always make me run into a brick wall, kind of shoot myself in the foot. And at this point, I'm loyal to what at this point? You know what I mean? I'm loyal to me at this point, and that's what I believe in. I believe in what I could do. I believe in what I could bring to the table as Jim Jones, Jim Jones. I'm vamping out here. I'm Dipset for life. That's in my blood. That's in my soul. But right now it's Jim Jones, boy. I gotta go for mine. I'm almost at the end of this rope. You heard? And I ain't trying to hang myself. Listen to me. Music is a young game. I ain't saying like that. You dig? You're supposed to graduate from music. Music is like high school. You heard? I'm ready to go to college and become a professional. I'm ready to get into movies and everything else that I could get into. I'm ready to run a music label instead of actually having to do records to sustain a music label. I'm ready to get to that next action. And for me to get to that next action, I got to get busy. And for me to get busy, I need a platform and a team of people that know what it takes to get busy. And they got busy. They get busy with the best of them. And at this point in 2017, when it comes to the spectrums of labels, no disrespect to any label out there, because I would love to do business with y'all. But right now, or businesses, and let me say labels, businesses, management, all that, Rocnation got it. They at the top of the game. They at the top of the food chain, and they work for that. It didn't happen overnight. I watched them do the title thing. People try to shoot the title thing now. It's still clicking. You heard they
20 million, right?
They doing major moves over there. And for the things that I like to do, fitness. I just started something called VL Mobile. I'm the equivalent to what Boost is. Like I got a lot of things going on, and I really need some people that's into making some millions. You heard? I can't get jiggy with no hundreds of thousands and nothing like that. I got to get back into that M game, and they fully know what M's is about.
Now that you have a situation like that happening where mended offense, how does this work now? Like with the Max B who's getting ready to come out of jail, how has your relationship moved with Max B over the last couple of years?
It ain't move like nothing. You heard? He could die where he stand, but I ain't got time to talk about a person in jail.
Okay.
You heard? You dig? One heart don't fold. You dig? You violate me in a certain type of way, that's for life. You heard? It's just that man is in jail, and I can never talk bad or down about somebody's in jail. Let's see when he come out. Let's see how long it takes him to come out. If he come out and I'm still into it, I'm gonna bust his ass. You heard?
Okay, so French Montana.
What's up with him?
I mean, like I know. Well,
tell him shoot the fair one.
well before we go to wait, hold up, Jim, hold up, man.
Chris Brown and Soldier Boy.
Now see, I'm gonna share something that I don't normally.
Jim Jones ain't from the hood.
Jim, come on, man, wait.
Saying Jim Jones ain't from the hood.
Wait.
What's happening?
Wait.
What's happening?
No, see, now I'm gonna share a story. So wait, the French had mentioned you on a verse.
Yeah,
right?
He said he had a $5 million week.
Wait, hold on, Jim. See, you ain't let me take the mic from him.
Right?
Take the mic from him. Wait, let me describe the situation.
Ask Puffy about me, boy.
Wait, stop. No. wait. So Jim, you respond, right? You say something light, you light with it. Okay, cool. So I don't normally share conversations that I have with rappers, but today I'm gonna share because I didn't want to share any of our information because I let Jim Jones, and he told it very accurate. But you know, me and Cam have our conversations. I got my conversations with Jim. I ain't let none of it intertwine in what we. But this one, I'm gonna do it. So he did. He said something. I said something to French, in which how can we move through this? I felt French was in a good space. He was like, wait, nah, hold up, man, stop. So French was kind of saying it. Hold up. French was kind of saying it was never really you and him having issues, right? Is that correct? It wasn't really you. Wait, time out. Don't do that, Jim. Right. You were trying to not let this moment roll. Yeah, cool. So then, and I even had conversations with Jim, and Jim, you hit me with, maybe not this second, but you feel like you could be open to it. Correct? I mean, am I lying? I wasn't lying. We had that convo.
Yeah, we had that conversation slightly, but
that's what I'm saying.
In the back of my, it was just look at him. You talk figuratively, man. But and still, listen to me. I'm not mad. I'm just
saying. Is there room for Jim Jones and French Montana to have a better relationship? Yeah. Are you open?
Yeah, I'm open.
That's all. That's all you gotta tell me. You're open.
Can I suggest something?
Yeah. No, you can't. No, you can't.
I'm trying to tell you how we could get a record. I'll tell you how we could get a record.
Nah, it's gonna be embarrassing. I know you're gonna say something that is not gonna make it happen.
Slapbox?
No.
You can't slapbox?
No slapboxing, man. You open to it. You just said you open to it.
No. He did a song with Cam and Joels. They the New Diplomats.
They not the New Diplomat. That's not what it says, Jim. That's not what it says. You know what he told me once? He said, he said when diplomats was, French told me,
he got the beard.
French told me when, French told me?
You heard?
French said, the diplomat, he wanted to be part of it when I was hot smoking and
beat. He's popping now.
No, he's not in it.
Dipped in coke, they popping him, Cam and Joels. He got the beard. He's the new Jim Jones, you heard?
You open to it though, right? Good, that's all you gotta say?
They got it already.
I'm gonna move that train along. Right, I'm gonna move that train along. You just said you open to it.
Oh man, he just did a song with Cam and them, man. Bless them brothers.
And Joels.
That's dope.
Joels is on it.
That's dope. I'm on a whole nother page. You heard?
Look how his hat changed since we've been talking about this conversation. Look where his hat's sitting.
Nah, I ain't worried about that type of shit, man. That's frivolous, man. I always tell people that's not the center of my attention. What people seen in the past from that's something in the past. My personal is my personal. You will never see me reflect that in a public place or in an embarrassing manner and shit like that. If I do get a chance to address that, and then maybe we get to shake like grown men. If it don't happen, it don't happen.
We respect that, Jim.
You know what I mean? But anytime a nigga want to shake, please tell me. I fly in for it. You heard? Anywhere. You heard?
Nobody want to shake though, Jim.
Nobody
want to shake. Nobody
said. You want Diddy to be the referee? You heard? We can shake. I put one hand behind my back, tied behind my back, and get on one knee. You heard? We can shake. But nah, that's not here nor there. But shouts to Rocnation. I'm just playing.
Congratulations,
I'm just playing with y'all up there. This is all having fun with Flex. None of this is serious, please.
I don't want to say I was surprised. I just liked your growth on this deal and this situation.
That's a dope.
I like the way you looked at it. I like the way you did it, and you did it classy. I like it.
Anybody that hating on this situation I'm doing, this is a pure hater. They probably just want to be in my position and shit like that. I'm not saying I'm in the greatest position. I didn't sign over there and walk out of there with $1 billion check. I signed over there and walked out of there with my integrity, with a chance to really go hard and make some fucking money.
If you go hard, you're gonna make money.
I'm gonna make a lot of fucking money, and I feel like I'm in the right places. There's not a lot of people that's in the position that I'm in right now.
Now I saw you online. What's the young lady from Love and Hip Hop? God, what's her name? No.
That's Cardi B. I seen her on the plane
the producer, the executive producer.
She's an ill one.
Huh? No, the other young lady.
Who's another executive producer?
No, the owner of the show. What's her name? Mona Scott. Now, Jim.
What happened?
Jim, man, you went hard, bro.
That was my last.
You went
That
too
was my
hard.
last.
I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good.
That was my last emotional rant.
That didn't feel good,
But
man.
she needed to get that. It didn't matter.
Well, Jim, you went
I don't
so
care.
hard. What was the problem?
I don't care. They jerked me out of a whole franchise. I don't care. She needed to get that. But it's all love. How you doing, Mona? You feeling good? You all right? How's the temperature doing? What show you on? Loving Hip Hop Alaska? What you gonna put sumos in there and shit like that? What you gonna do? Loving Hip Hop China? Come on, man.
What brought that all about? Because I never heard you.
Little check. Y'all got something for me over there? Throw me something light. You heard?
Jim, I never saw you and Mona have a dispute. Like I always, even when you weren't doing business.
She's a lady.
And you went hard that day. What was it that made you go so hard that day? What was the issue?
Oh, I might have woke up on the wrong side of the bed, man.
At least you're keeping it 100.
You heard? I'll be waking up sometimes thinking about some of the shit that people did to me. I'll be like, fuck it, I'm gonna fuck his whole day up today.
that old school shit.
Yeah, go home and tell your husband this is what's going on today in my life, man. This shit gotta stop. You heard? You heard? Yeah, but shit now, imagine.
Do you take it back a little bit?
No. Why should I take it back?
Not even a touch?
How? Why would I take it back for? It was nothing that she did good for me in my life. She kind of blocked me out the whole situation, and then she tried to wave it above my head like loving hip hop was the end all be all for me, and told me if I do another season, then I could get all the credits and the accolades that I need as executive producer and all the checks that come with it and all that. At this point, we going on the third season. Y'all can eat something. You're not gonna hold nothing. We going home to go to sleep. Come on, boo. We going home to go to sleep. You heard? But we ain't even here for that, man. How you doing, Mona? Drop it like it's. Send me a check. You and Stevens, drop it like it's out of something. Send me a check or something.
It's good now.
Yeah, man, it's all good.
Better.
I mean, it's nothing. I don't really have to deal with them.
It's the first time me and Jim had this
VH1, no, holla at me though. Me and Chrissy's moving.
Subjects.
We could do
You get a weed check. You collecting?
We got a plethora of shows.
You collecting another check?
Shouts to weed, man. Now, Weed Channel's a dope channel. We about to film the second season and a couple of boot camp shows over there. You're gonna get to see us in rare form. I'm gonna milk this TV thing for what it's worth. It's the biggest platform you possibly would get as being an artist. I tell people all the time, being an actor or being on TV is similar to being a basketball player, and then being a musician and being on the radio is similar to being a football player. Because TV, you got full exposure and everybody see who you are. When you're a football player, you got a helmet over your head. They got to figure out who you are, and that's pretty much what these rappers are. If it wasn't for the internet, we wouldn't know who nobody was. So
correct.
The opportunity that I took on TV, where I was trying to explain to people a long time ago, was, man, this is a big commercial. You need to get in on this. And they thought I was going crazy. And actually, the only person who realized what it was Mona. You heard? The people up there, they didn't have a clue what was going on. You know what I've learned to take? What I've learned to take Love and Hip Hop as now, which makes me very okay with it. When we were younger, we watched soap operas during the day. Soap opera's a full soap opera. At noon, and I'm okay. If once I start to take this is a soap opera, and the hip hop stars, or past or present, or the ones that are doing really well or not doing well, have a chance to act. It's a full soap opera, and they need to really. I'm okay with it. Now I'm all right with it. They need to promote it like that, though. Yeah, well, there's no reality. That seems to be no reality in that soap opera. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay. No, wait. Feel good. See, no, don't go corner me. No, I'm not gonna let you corner me. I'm gonna let you corner me. I feel good with it in the sense that if that is what we're looking at it as a soap opera, I'm okay. If we're saying that that's reality of what the hip hop business is, that's not true. You know what I want to do is that I never get my credit for a bunch of shit I do in this industry. When niggas say love hop, they supposed to say, man, the creator and founder, Jim Jones.
No, you was on it early.
I wasn't on an order. I created it. It wasn't about nobody. It was a man named Jim Ackerman that been following me on the internet for years. Chrissy was supposed to do a show. It didn't go through for her. I called Jim Ackerman like, yo, I'm ready to do reality TV. If you do a show around Chrissy, and I'll be a part of the show for the whole thing, right? At that time, I wasn't doing no shows. So Yandy went on the road with Missy Elliott so she could get her money. And she told Mona, yo, hold Jim down while I'm gone, play the management. I had a couple more meetings at VH1. Took Mona with me to the meeting. She went in there as my manager and left as the producer.
Oh gosh.
Of my whole show template. From the name of the show. I made the name Love and Hip Hop. That's my name. They didn't make that name.
I didn't know that.
You heard?
I didn't know that.
That's like Emily came up with that name.
I didn't know that.
You heard? That was our whole template. It was supposed to be about the wives and the girlfriends of hip-hop stars, starting with Chrissy, and Chrissy's friend was Emily, and it was built around that. Even though we know Fab wasn't going to be on television,
which
it was supposed
the
to
heart
be at that.
of the first one.
Yes, and the first one and the second one was the one that had retarded ratings. We had the best ratings, probably better than all the ratings they're getting right now, because reality TV is kind of watered down right now. But they never had ratings that we had when we first did the show. That's why they was like, oh yeah, you get all the, because after I didn't get the credits and I see the shit as a success, I'm like, oh, I bugged out. I told them, yo, I need to get these executive producer credits. Y'all know what's up. I made this. They like, yeah, you gotta do one more year or you not getting nothing. I'm like, what? We don't want to do it no more. So then they gave us our own show. That's when me and Chrissy had the one season or the 2 seasons of the Me and Chrissy show on VH1. And then after that, Mona and them was doing so much business over there as far as Love and Hip Hop. It was like, yo, we doing enough business with them over here, so we'll let y'all go, even though y'all doing better ratings than them and shit like that. So that's how we ended up off of VH1. We held fast, and then we picked this up, and now we playing ball with we.
Well, I didn't know that you was that deep into the creation. I thought you was the first
no,
one
they
on the
wouldn't
show.
tell you that. They wouldn't tell you that. Shout out to Jim Ackerman, man. He was the big executive over at VH1. Right? He's right now on like
Snake.
No, he was there for it. No, he was my man.
Sorry.
He had to leave VH1.
Wait.
When he left VH1,
Oh, wait, sorry.
that's when it
sorry,
got snaky.
Jim. I thought you were the one that.
Nah.
Snake.
When he
sounded good though.
When he left,
it sounded good. It was on time.
When he left VH1, that's
On
when
time.
it got snaky. But yeah, I'm blessed, man. Like I said, shout.
That's a word. That's a word. When you use that word,
Man,
it makes
snaky.
people's eyebrows go. You snake.
Word up.
Niggas
like,
go, whoa.
Word up. But nah, we here, man. I'm blessed, man. We up at Rocnation,
Thank
man.
God, my nigga.
I got a record. It's called Bando, featuring my man Axe. We working.
That
You
one,
heard?
no, what's the other one though? You got with
What,
Axe, with Fred the God and Jacquay.
Hey, we working,
Clean.
man. I don't know if you forgot me or forgot I know how to do music, but I'm about to go hard. I'm about to start stepping on, putting the pressure on it. You heard? I start to catch dyslexia out this motherfucker, but I can't wait to play ball, man. Shouts to Rocnation. They giving me another opportunity to get busy, and I am going to get busy. You heard? Ain't nothing going to stop me from getting busy from all formats. Fashion, fitness, television, music. And now phones. Yeah, you could get you a VL mobile phone. You could get you a nice plan. $50 unlimited a month. We got 500 minutes for $20 a month. We got full data. Might get you a smartphone. But for all my trappers, we got the flip phones. You know, the stores will be coming. In the next 3 months, you see all the stores popping up. I'm next to all of, I'm gonna put my stores right next to the Boost stores. We gonna give them hell. You heard? VL mobile. Remember about me. You heard?
Yes, sir.